Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. It's Sunday morning. It's the Sunday debrief as we're going to discuss all the big talking points from the games just gone. And boy, Saturday's action did not disappoint, did it? No. We saw 7 games. We saw loads of the big teams playing. We saw lots of goals and we saw lots of talking points. In today's show, we're going to talk Crystal Palace and Mateta. Boy, is he going to be in demand now. We're going to talk Mukiele. We're going to look at long throws. We're going to talk about the Semenyo assist that was given and the one that wasn't. Loads coming up. I've got so much to show you. There must be 50, 60 screens to go through this morning, as well as some screen grabs from the actual games. So look, welcome to everyone watching live. Welcome to everyone watching on catch up. I am going to go through and timestamp this. So if you're watching on catch up and you're just interested in Sunderland Wolves, and you should be, that every game yesterday there was big FPL interest in, you can skip forward. You can just go to that game. Thank you as always to those that are joining me early on a Sunday morning. Let's do some shout outs before we get started. Good to see so many of you in the chat. Gucci from Australia is in. We got Wazza, we got Emma. I sold Mateta for Welbeck. Wow, Emma, I mean, to be fair, you clearly know what you're doing with forwards in terms of like having them in your team, because both very good picks. Welbeck with the brace. I mean, Mateta gets the headlines, but Welbeck's still amazing. You probably want both now, don't you? Good day to Keith, also in Australia. We've got Samir in, Little Miss FPL. Hey, guys, we got morning from Switzerland. Let us know where in the world you are watching from. Few people in the chat sold Mateta, live from Brighton Beach. Guys, get your locations in and I'll flash them up. Come on, where in the world are you right now this Sunday morning? As we're going through the games, Gyökeres is trolling. We're going to get to Arsenal really soon, I think I'm going to start with Arsenal. And FPL Chai in the house, another fellow Mukiele owner. Although Chai benched him. I'm guessing, Chai, who was in your 11? Did you have Enzo? And did Enzo come out for Mukiele? Anyway, luck of the Irish, because FPL Chai has got the 17 big ones, and he deserves it because he's an awesome manager. Chai, let us know what rank you're at. I know you're absolutely flying, and fair play because you went Salah captain. Morning from Mauritius. We've got Singapore, South Africa, Sweden, Berlin, Sydney. We always have loads in Australia on the Sunday mornings. Coventry, Ireland, Geneva. Waterford, India, which is the same as Chai. Mad. West coast of Ireland again, Sweden. Did I say Waterford, India? Waterford Island. Sunny Wales, Nairobi, Norway. Rainy but a very happy Sunderland. Come on, Mackham. Come on. Yeah, Chai had Enzo. I thought so, right. I started Mukiele, but it was touch and go all week with my benching dilemmas. Greetings from Bosnia. Shall we get cracking, guys? Dubravka, sensational. Okay. So much. I'm super pumped for today's show. Guys, if you want to help the algorithm, it really does help if you just hit that like button. So if you fancy hitting the like, that'd be amazing. If you're new around here and want to add to the comments in the chat, hit the subscribe button and you can come and say hello. And hit the notification bell when you do. If you're watching on catch up, any comments, I will get back to you all. So come say hi too. Right, let's get cracking, shall we? A couple of bits from the Fantasy Football Scout members area. They do their highlights of the week, new feature on the Scout area. I'll leave the QR code for Scout. If you're not already a Scout member, sign up even to the free stuff. Like, it's an amazing FPL resource. It really is. So expected goals, this will blow your mind. 3.67 for Mateta. That's mad, isn't it? Haaland with the 2 goals from under 1xG or from 1xG. Yeah, Mateta, the chances are there. Obviously, he missed a huge chance at the end. Who are the overachievers? Well, Haaland slightly. Welbeck overachieved, got 2 goals from 1.42. And then like Cooper Jr. with the brace. Fair play. He looks like he's a bit of a football manager sensation, Cooper Jr. And he looks... I don't know if his work rate for the team is as good as Evan Nilsson's, because Evan Nilsson is very good in that Bournemouth system. But in terms of actual goals, Evan Nilsson's never really been that guy. I think he was it Porto he was at? He had really good numbers the year before he came, and they paid a lot of money for him. But Krupi Jr. has definitely got an eye for a goal. Watch this space for the budget forwards. He's going to get minutes even when Evan Nilsson's back fit. Expected assists, Neto right up there. And Phil Foden. Guys, Phil Foden created 2 big chances yesterday. He was the only player that did create 2 big chances. And we need to stop looking at the FPL points and go, he's rubbish at the moment. Phil Foden had 2 assists of the assist. And I know you're not rewarded for that, but he did get the assist of the assist with 2 brilliant passes. He created 2 big chances of his own. And when I show you the Man City data and stuff, you're going to look at Foden and go, he's a really good pick. And I still think he is. Foden's a good buy. I know he's been blanking, but the underlyings are there. The creativity is absolutely there. And crucially, when all the other attackers are getting subbed off, other than Haaland, Foden's getting 90. We'll talk about Man City in a minute. XG underachievers. If you own these players, these are the ones where you feel a little bit unlucky. Although not if you own Mateta, because you still got a hat trick. Although he should have had even more. Big chances created. Mark Gahey also got 2, not just Foden. Mark Gahey, by the way, keeps creating chances, and do you know why? Because from set pieces, he wins a ton. From long throws, from corners, from free kicks. He might not be the tallest Mark Gahey, but boy, is he good in the air. And it's often Mark Gahey first contact, shot or attempt on goal, second contact. And we're going to talk about first and second contacts from set pieces because I've got something awesome, I think, to show you. I'm just going to flash it up now if I can find it. When we talk about first and second contact, things have changed in the Premier League this season. We're seeing more long ball. Let me come off this for a second. We're seeing more long ball. We're seeing back to front quicker. Teams like Bournemouth and Brentford do it really well, but others do as well, Spurs. But we're seeing a huge amount of reliance on set pieces. A year or two ago, there was just 1 or 2 Premier League clubs with set piece coaches dedicated. Thomas Frank brought him in at Brentford and the rest followed. Now every club has a set piece coach. And we're seeing long throws now introduced. We saw it at the start of end of last season. I remember the Italian right back. How have I forgot his name? Italian right back at Brentford. Let me out in the chat. They bought him in January. Anyway, they bought him in January and he started taking long throws and he's awesome. I can't believe, how have I forgot his name? Anyway, long throws. Someone let me know his name. It's killing me here. And there's success. Coyote. Thank you, Maliki. Coyote, of course. So Michael Coyote, Brentford did it well. And now every club, if they've got someone that can take long throws, they're using it. Now, off the back of these long throws, we are seeing first contact, often a Mark Gahey flick on if you're at Palace, or a flick on by someone, and then an attempt on the second contact. So the guy taking the long throw isn't overly valuable from an FPL perspective. They're not getting the assist because they're getting the assist of the assist quite often, right? You're not rewarded for that. And if the guy taking the throw isn't in the box, you're like, if he's a centre-back like a Mukiele, you're a bit like, oh, damn, Mukiele can't get his head on these set pieces because he's taking them, the throw-ins especially. However, Mukiele has the best long throw in the Premier League by some distance, and his long throws actually you have a chance of scoring from direct, i.e. first contact. So this is a screen grab from yesterday. Mukiele's long throw, look at Ballard there. He's 8 yards from goal. 8 yards from goal, and the trajectory of that ball was flat. It comes in with speed. It comes in with distance. No one else gets that speed, and no one else gets that distance. So Mukiele, actually, you've got a chance of assists. We haven't seen an assist yet. We nearly saw one yesterday. Ballard's header here just was aiming for the back post. It was actually turned into a flick on, and Hume at the back stick there hit the post off it. But it was an attempt at goal. And you're going to see Mukiele getting assists from throw-ins because they're that good, and Sunderland really do send up the big men, and someone like Ballard's phenomenal in the air. So just watch this space for Mukiele. We're going to talk about him later as an asset from DEFCON, from open play. His positioning, he played fullback yesterday, not centre-back, and that's worse for his DEFCON, although we still got it. But I just want to take note how long throws, we need to look at who's benefiting. And most of the time, it's the guy that's winning the second contact. But for Mukiele, it might even be the guy taking the throw-ins. Anyway, let's crack on, shall we? Oh, let's just go to this one. Had Alderete in my 11, but reasoning convinced me switching him to Mukiele. You're a legend, bro. Oh, thank you. So because of me, you went Mukiele. I'm delighted with that. I wildcarded in Gameweek 7 and I went Mukiele over Alderete. And that was purely because his DEFCON was better. If he does play fullback, his DEFCON will be worse over time. Mukiele nearly had 3, I think, this season, got a shot on target. Wow, that's good to know, Mackham. Very good to know. Honestly, the long throws are ridiculous. Right, okay. I wasn't going to go to that, so my rhythm's all gone. We're going to talk about Waldemar versus Mateta, all that. We're going to talk Gyökeres, but we're going to try and keep it game by game. So when you've got Gyökeres questions, we'll do them when we do Arsenal. Now, as it happens, I think we should go to Arsenal first because they were the late game. Defensive contributions yesterday, Senesi doing what he does. And Ndai had DEFCON by half time. Yeah, we're going to talk about Ndai. I really want him in my team. We're going to talk fixtures as well. I've done this by the Scout difficulty rating for attack. Liverpool are top. And eyes on Liverpool today because I think we all want a Liverpool attacker in our team soon. But let's start with Arsenal Fulham, shall we? 88 likes. Let's get to 100. Come on, let's get to a couple of hundred, Emma. We can do this. I reckon we can get this stream overall. Maybe not live, but on catch, we get to 500, can't we? Come on. Thank you guys for supporting with subscribing and liking. Right, Fulham. Oh, Fulham. I'm going to answer the super chat when we get to Palace or Newcastle, okay? So I will remember that. I'm just going to answer it quickly because I don't want to forget. Mateta. I've said it for weeks, Mateta. If you watched my videos last week and you watched my wildcard video, you'll know. If you saw my thumbnail of my team selection, it was Mateta in, Gyökeres out. I didn't do it. If you saw my wildcard, it was get triple Palace and go Mateta. I'm crazy on Mateta. You guys know that if you watch my content. So yeah, that's an easy one for me. Right, Fulham Arsenal. Pretty level at halftime. This XG plot from between the posts shows it all. Halftime is bang on. Small chances for both teams. Then the big chances crept in second half. Fulham did nothing second half. Arsenal did a lot second half. Saka was awesome. Saka was so good. He's creating chances. He's putting tackles in. He got DEFCON yesterday, Saka, which you don't expect. And he nearly won a penalty. I think he went through Saka to win the pen, to get the ball. I think that was a penalty. I was surprised they overturned it. But I think that's a very subjective decision. Let us know what you think to that penalty that Saka won. I really wanted to know if Gyökeres was going to take it. And there was a bit of discussion between Gyökeres and Saka when Saka won the pen and they're doing the VAR check. Would have loved to have known. I would have liked Gyökeres to take it as an owner. 16 shots to 9. The set piece XG from Arsenal. Just look at this. Every time I show you a shot map, just check out the XG on set pieces versus the XG open play. And with Arsenal, what we're seeing a lot this season is it's often quite balanced. Their open play XG is often very similar to their XG set play, which is madness. They just do it so well. You don't expect that ratio of 50-50. But the set piece threat from Arsenal, Gabriel, there is no better from attacking set pieces, and he got the assist yesterday. The delivery of Saka is amazing. He said post-match to Sky Sports his delivery wasn't great. Even not great for Saka is good delivery. Yeah, it was absolutely a Gabriel assist, not a Saka one. When we look at the average position, it was Trossard that got the start. I just want to highlight here that the back four is completely set for Arteta. We saw in the Champions League, he dropped out the fullbacks and he rotated. And we might see that a little bit in EFL Cup or Champions League easier games. But in terms of Premier League back four, you can pick a Calafiori or a Timber guilt-free. I mean, you see Calafiori yesterday, shots galore. Like, this is a guy that can play any position on the football pitch. There's been rumours that when Arteta was down to the bare bones, he was going to trial him up front. For Italy, he plays right centre-back in a back four at times, with Bastoni left centre-back, and Gattuso is going to play a back four. And if Italy go to the World Cup, Calafiori will be a right-sided centre-back. Mad, left-footed Calafiori. But the back four's so good. They've conceded, I think, 3 big chances all season before yesterday. And double Arsenal defence is definitely the play. If you're on wildcard, that's where you've got to go. That's something I want to get towards. I only have the one. Saka, the outlet, as always. And Eze, quite quiet in the Odegaard role, it has to be said. Didn't have the best of games. He was neat and tidy. I always look at substitutions to know about just rotation in general, but pecking order. And it's worth noting, when Eze's having a quiet game, he isn't going to be a 90-minute man. That is the benefit of investing in a Rice or a Saka. You know you're getting the 90s when they start. Eze got hooked. Moraine, the squad depth's unreal. Arteta has spoken about his finishers as well as his starters, and someone like a Martinelli is always going to be a finisher. Saka's numbers were absolutely crazy, Mark. You're right. So the game before yesterday was Gameweek 7. Who'd they play at home? Saka got the pen. His XGI was something like 1.9. And he got the penalty, and we were happy with his 7-8 points, whatever he got. But yesterday, again, like, the underlines are outrageous. The open play creativity is so impressive. And by the way, awesome to have Mark in. I'm gonna paraphrase Mark from the Semenyo assist stuff coming up later. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, Mark's always loved Saka. You've always picked him in your FPL teams, and now you have Mark. So I'm hoping you add him this week as well. But yeah, it feels like we're very close to a 15-pointer from Saka. We could have had it in 7, 1.9 XGI. Don't know what his XGI was yesterday, but it would have been high. And then again, very good yesterday. And he's combining well with Gyökeres. I quite like that chemistry. And we all talk about Gyökeres' numbers. And we go, Gyökeres hasn't been great for the opening period. I think Gyökeres has been fine. Couple of shots on target yesterday. At least one of them was from when Saka slid him in. Gyökeres has been playing without Saka. Now he's playing with Saka. We're seeing more chances. I think we're seeing a much better version of Gyökeres playing with Saka. Of course you are. What number 9 doesn't want to play with a player like Saka? So I just want to highlight this. You probably got to stay patient with Gyökeres. The fixtures are there for him. They're absolutely there. Goals are coming. I wonder if he would have taken that pen yesterday. I wonder. Because they're 1-0 up, I think he might. I don't know. If they're 2-0 up, he definitely does. Maybe not a 1-0. If they're 2-0 up, I think Saka gives it to him. Saka's the captain. And what we're going to see with Arsenal penalties is they're Saka's unless he wants to hand it over. Same with Odegaard. He used to hand it over to Odegaard at times. I think it's Saka's decision. And I think Saka wants and knows his number 9 needs goals. And I think if they're winning by a couple of goals, it's absolutely going to be a Gyökeres pen. Let us know your thoughts. Obviously, I'm just guessing here. So minutes are important here just to know who's nailed. And Eze, I think, is a great pick, a good pick, but not a great pick because of this. Because he hasn't got 90. Havertz will be back soon as well, and that is going to affect Gyökeres' minutes. Of course it is. I don't think they'll play together much, because I think Arteta sees Havertz's best role as the 9. But let's see. Havertz can, of course, play 10. You could even play him on the left. I don't think he will. Saka's going to keep going up in price. Of course he is. We're not going to talk about Fulham much in average position. Yeah, I don't think we need to. Josh King, if you're looking for an enabler, still looks like a good 8th attacker, doesn't he? In terms of bonus and DEFCON, unsurprisingly, Gabriel got it. As soon as you get an attack in return and you're a defender keeping clean sheets, you've got a good chance. And Gabriel is rewarded twice because he's good at the DEFCON stuff. The DEFCON stuff is also rewarded in the bonus points. So he's already above, yesterday at least, a Saliba, who I think got 4 defensive contributions. So for bonus points, you're like, tackles, interceptions, blocks are awarded in bonus. Remember that. So Gabriel is the best of the Arsenal defenders, even if he's not going to hit DEFCON much. I think we've been surprised he's hit it 2 or 3 times already. But Saka, 2 bonus points, despite no goal involvement. That's how good his underlyings are. Trust me, big returns are coming. Big returns are coming for Saka. And he's got Burnley and Sunderland in 2 and 3 weeks' time. Gyökeres is getting 1 more week, says Wazza. We'll look at performance and mins. If he fails down, I'm going full Marinakis. Oh, good stuff. Mark, you would have been at the game yesterday as well. Let us know what your thoughts are when we get to Forest. I'm keeping the patience. I want Mateta a lot, and I very nearly went Mateta in for Gyökeres, but I think I saw enough from Gyökeres yesterday to stick with it. Obviously, they play each other. We're not going to talk about my team yet. I'll come back to this at the end of the show. That's not meant to be there. Where do we go to next? Let's have a look. Yeah, let's do Palace. Palace Sunderland. So guys, let's move on. We've got 7 games to get through. I want to keep this quite fast paced. We're going to do 5 minutes a game now because I don't want this running over an hour. Right. Palace versus Bournemouth, pretty even game. Like XG plot shows us that. Palace a good finisher here. What we've seen from Palace in the last few weeks is European heavy legs in the weekend fixtures come 70 minutes. And we've seen Palace conceding goals quite a bit in the Premier League. And their performance in the last 20 hasn't been great, especially off the back of those Thursday night games. Now, that's fully understandable because they're not a squad that's going to rotate much in Europe. And they're a small squad. A lot of their players yesterday weren't heavy-legged in the last 20 because they didn't have a European game. Although it must be said, a lot of them had international duty. But I thought that was interesting. A lot of them didn't have international duty, and maybe that's the reason why they finished the game so strong. Munoz, my biggest mistake on wildcard in game week 7 was dropping Munoz. I went Richards, and Richards has been fine. But pound for pound, I still think Munoz is the one. He kept dodging points for me, and then he scored in 7 and 2 assists in 8. Damn, as soon as I sold him. But look, that's how it goes. I want Munoz back in my team. And he is a minutes monster. He can play every minute, up and down. He's part of the Palace front 3. The Palace front 3 is effectively Sarr, Mateta, Munoz. Of course, Yeremy Pino is actually the front 3 member, but he often drops deep. Yesterday, however, Pino wasn't deep. Pino played the Eze role. I'll show you the average position map in a second. Shots 20-8. So whilst the XG might be fairly balanced, Palace smashing it. They went and played Liverpool at Selhurst Park a few weeks ago. And so impressive. They created nearly 4xG versus Liverpool. Well, they created 4xG against Bournemouth. Two very good teams, two very high XGs created. They're an all-out attack team. And that's actually why I want the Nos, because I see him as an attacker. I really do. He's a winger. He's a wide man. Let me show you that average position map. We'll come back to Mateta in a minute. Daniel Munoz, I mean, he's always high and wide. He's the outlet. Yesterday, Sarr actually played further right than we expect. We saw the Liverpool game. This is different, right? Liverpool have a lot of the ball. So in the Liverpool match, Sarr was the highest up the pitch and Mateta plays off him and it's a front two and Jeremy Pino plays in midfield. Yesterday, you got a lot more of the ball. And against teams where you'll have more possession, like against Bournemouth, where it's more 50-50, Palace will play a more traditional 3-4-3, right? And with that, it's Ismaila Sarr, Jeremy Pino, either side, and Mateta. But when they play the bigger teams, like they're going to go to Arsenal next week, and against Arsenal, we'll see Jeremy Pino playing more central and deeper, and we'll see Ismaila Sarr being the outlet on the counter. I've got Ismaila Sarr in my team, and whilst if I have an attacker playing Arsenal, I'm usually, other than Erling Haaland, very happy to bench them. I don't want to bench Ismaila Sarr because he's going to be playing number 9 next week, effectively, right? So just bear that in mind. I want you just to note that shift with Palace and Glasner and the way he sets up away from home against big teams and the way he wins FA Cups and causes big teams problems. His team are very, very comfortable playing on transition, playing on the counter. And yesterday, they didn't do that. They've shown they've got both strings to their bow. They can play front foot, possession-based against a team. I mean, Bournemouth will come at you. This isn't a low block Burnley they were playing, but they can still give it some when they're in possession. Munoz versus Gahey, still Munoz. Munoz is the best. It's worth the extra. I keep thinking that. Oh, yeah, Mark, I wish I brought this up during Arsenal. I've just seen your comment on Saka. Yeah, the numbers were ridiculous. Didn't even talk about his DEFCON. How did I skim past that? It's because I'm conscious of time. Wow, that is super impressive. 6 BPS from dribbles, 5 from fouls, 1 before we get to 10 recovery. Yeah. Guys, for those that aren't aware, Mark Sutherns is a good friend of mine, the founder of Fantasy Football Scout, and Scout QR code will remain on screen for those that want to check out Scout. If you haven't used Scout, the free stuff is unbelievable if you don't even want to be a member. So just make a profile and look at the free stuff. But Mark now is working with the Premier League and he's responsible for a lot of the stuff for the game. So the rule changes, a lot of the stuff around assists, which we're going to talk about. So thank you, mate, for joining. I'm delighted you watch these Sunday debriefs. I hope you continue to, because I'll go to more lengths of making these shows more valuable and with better content, knowing you're watching. The godfather of FPL to me, my FPL hero, the guy that got me really into it. I was a casual manager, didn't even know an online community existed on FPL, and all I did was watch the FPL show, and Mark was the only pundit on it, and that was my only content each week, and it was brilliant. And I was like, this guy is a genius, and he is. Salah to Saka game week 9. Don't think I'll be selling Saka, but yeah, getting him in, absolutely. Defcon's a great addition. Yes, Gucci, it is, man. I think we all love it, don't we? I'm surprised when I see people say they don't, actually. Not going to lie. I think it's bloody brilliant. I think it's great. It's changed the way we watch football, but that's fun. FPL's changed the way we watch football anyway. All right, let's move on from Crystal Palace. Let's just touch on DEFCON. I want to talk about centre-backs. Got a lot of questions about Gahey versus Lacroix versus Munoz versus Richards. It's worth noting, I think Richards has surprised us this season for his DEFCON. We all thought Lacroix would out DEFCON him, but he's not. It's very even between them. Richards is edging it, but I thought Lacroix was worth the extra 0.5 because I think Lacroix is a better goal threat, and he's often who they look for set pieces. But Richards, he's pulling up trees this season with his DEFCON, and at 4.5, he's an awesome enabler. The problem is I don't think Palace are going to keep many clean sheets. I think we look at Palace now, and I go, they're just an all-out attack. Like, they're just fun. And when you look at their underlying defensive data, they're like middling. When you look at their underlying attacking data, they're top of the charts for XG, for expected goals conceded, they're middling. So whilst I would usually say, go and buy Munoz and keep your Palace defender, your Mark Gahey or your Richards, go double up. Don't, because they're not actually going to keep many clean sheets. Yes, they're good for DEFCON, but I think you go Munoz. I'm willing to sell Richards to Munoz if I can find the million. I really am. And by the way, Munoz still very good for DEFCON because he's a He's a Duracell bunny. Bugs Bunny. He's always on the go. He missed DEFCON. No, he got DEFCON by 1 yesterday. Gahey missed it by 1. But Minoz has had DEFCON a fair few times now. Worth noting, Senesi, he's only missed it once. I benched Senesi and I was very scared to do so, but I'm glad I did. Very easily could have been sent off. I think it was probably the right decision because of the angle and the cover from from his teammate. Sarr was drifting wide, but I thought that last-ditch tackle was so risky for Senesi early on. And then Tyler Adams as well, keeping Christie out the team. Christie was a DEFCON magnet last year, one of the best in the game. Tyler Adams is equally as good. Let me get back to Mateta. Just wanted to flag this. This isn't a case of me saying, I told you so. Just want to highlight the minutes. I tweeted about Mateta's minutes last week. And the reason wildcarders didn't go Mateta was they were put off by his minutes. I spoke to a few people on wildcard that said, I'm not going Mateta because of his minutes. And my response to them, and I sent my good friend Late Riser a voice note saying, I think he'd be my pick, was I think Nketiah is going to get a start or two in Europe. Because if you look at the European games, the Thursday night home fixtures at Selhurst Park coming up, I think Glasner will see them as a gimme, 1 or 2 of them, close to a gimme. And I think he'll put Mateta on the bench and call him if he needs to. But I think Nketiah gets starts. And if he gets a start or two in Nketiah, then Mateta's 90-minute appeal at weekends or 90-minute likeliness increases. And obviously game state dependent. They couldn't afford to bring Mateta off because the game wasn't won. When the game is won, they might bring him off. But he's unbelievable. He's just been called up for France. Since Glasner has taken over Crystal Palace, I cannot name you a better number 9 other than Erling Haaland for output. I haven't looked at the numbers. But off the top of my head, Watkins has put up good numbers, sure. But if we go till now, from when Glasner took over, I bet for goals, there's been no number 9 that scored more than Mateta since Glasner took over in the Premier League other than Haaland. Someone check that for me. But because we had... Yeah, Watkins would be close, I'd imagine. And Chris Wood isn't doing it anymore, but obviously had a great year last year. But sensational, Mateta. Sensational. I think many will want him in your teams. They've got a poll. Are you planning on getting Mateta in soon? And the vast majority, 30% are no. 70% are considering it. 45% yes, 25% unsure. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of you are looking at either unsure or yes. 70% are unsure or yes to bring in Mateta in. Yeah, it's definitely not Calvert-Lewin, put it that way. Okay. 812 of you watching, by the way. It's awesome. Thank you for your support. Janny's brain working overdrive. 5 minutes per game is definitely not happening today. Yeah, I know I'm struggling. Do you know what it is? I've got a haircut at 10 o'clock. My barber's has opened for me at 10 because he's going on holiday and I want to get a haircut before the baby's born. And yeah, our due date is next week for a baby. So yeah. Anyway, brain is working overdrive. So yeah, haircut at 10. I need to leave the house at 9:30. God, half an hour. Come on, let's do this. Right. I don't want to... These games need a bit more detail, don't they? We're not going to spend time on Bournemouth average position. Jimenez came in. Christie's still out the team for Adams. Cooper Jr. is great, but it's going to be Evan Nilsson, who might be out for another week or 2. Yeah, thank you, mate. I've not really spoken much about it, but yeah, coming very soon. I'm buzzing. I might not be doing a Sunday debrief next week, put it that way, depending on baby's arrival date. Jean-Philippe Batici on the way. Okay, Kieran, spoiler alert, the name might be a footballer. I'm not going to say who. Congrats from Cape Town. And it's not because he is a footballer, but he is one of my favourite players. It actually features on the wall behind me, which you can't see. You can, yeah. Somewhere on this wall, the Christian name of the baby is featured. It's the same Christian name as the footballer on the wall. And his name will not be Chai Batici. Any guesses? I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong. No, Cannavaro Batici doesn't go. Fabio Batici could, though. Or couldn't. Not going to say. Diego Batici. Yeah, Maradona is on the wall. Alejandro. Is Garnacho on the wall? Francesco. Have I got Totti on the wall? I don't think I have. Yeah, I have got Totti on the wall. He's next to Pirlo, isn't he? Anyway, R9 Batici. Gianfranco Batici, Francesco Paolo. No one's got it yet. Andrea Batici, no, although Pirlo's my goat. Wife didn't like the name Andrea. I tried Andrea. I did try it. I tried Andrea. Sorry, is there a Phil on the wall? Who's Phil? Gianluca Battici, no. Paolo Battici, no. And I think you're all missing it. I'm not going to say because I've not even said on social if it's the sex of the baby. They've not even said gender. So yeah. Thank you guys for your congrats. Anyway, let's crack on. Yeah, Bournemouth did right. Brighton, Newcastle. Oh, I benched Minter and I was so close. I was so close to starting him. By the way, Minter, one off DEFCON. He's going to get points very soon. A bit like we're saying with Saka, he's due a haul. Minter's due a return. Not a haul, he's due a return. Minter's coming. Minter's coming. Minter's a great pick now. I think he's a really good pick. Great might be strong. I do think he's a good pick. Let me just check the Brighton fixtures coming up, by the way. So Brighton, Man United, Leeds, Crystal Palace, Brentford's a really good runner for. Happy with that. I think he'll do damage at Old Trafford. Big Nick is on fire. Insigne Patici. I'm getting distracted now from the chat. Zlatan Patici. Right, let's move on. Brighton, yeah, like I've lost my train of thought here. It's going to be rubbish analysis from Brighton, Newcastle. But look, it was a level pegging game. You could argue Newcastle edged it. It was toe for toe. It was like a boxing game, boxing match. Like one as a shot, the other as a shot. It was always like mimicking until the 75th minute. And these are two very even sides. I see them at a similar level. Newcastle obviously stronger defensively, especially at home. But in terms of attacks, I see them as quite similar. XG totals are similar. No reliance on set pieces from Brighton. A lot of shots from distance at Brighton, which I'm not a massive fan of. But Welbeck scores these shots from distance. We saw one of them go in. Minter the outlet down the right-hand side. No Matomi yesterday. We saw Gomez play left. I actually thought Minter might play on the left, and the press conference alluded to the fact he could, but I'm glad Minter stayed on the right. Danny Welbeck scoring goals for fun. Van Heck, very good for DEFCON. Weefer's playing very well as well. We're still not seeing Baleba playing to Baleba standards, but defensive contributions there. Van Heck, Weefer, Minter with the 11 just dodging, as did Joel Linton. Dan Burn got it with his 10 from the back. Remember, you need 10 for a defender, 12 for a midfielder. Welbeck mopping up the bonus. I'm not going to stay on this game long, other than to say Newcastle at home are a very different beast to Newcastle away. I genuinely think that. And when I looked at Newcastle to bring in Anthony Gordon on wildcard in 7, I didn't do it. I was concerned with some of their away games that have just played an away game. They now have Fulham at home, but then it's West Ham and Brentford away. And I was like, oh, they've got Brighton, West Ham, Brentford, 3 away games in 4. And that put me off a bit in terms of goals. I'm happy owning Nick Pope, and I think they'll get clean sheets. And they're a very good defence. But I'm happy moving forward going without Waltermada. I think Mateta is massively the standout pick. And from the super chat that came in earlier, thank you for sending, Mateta over Waltermada is clear and away for me. It's also worth noting Mateta can be rested in Europe because it's Thursday night Channel 5 games, right? And there's some easier opposition in Mateta's European fixtures. Waltermada can't really be rested in Europe. He's the only 9. They don't have an Nketiah behind him. Visser's injured. And Waltermada is going to get a lot of early subs because he's going to have to play a lot of Tuesday, Wednesday night Champions League games. So again, for minutes, I prefer Mateta. But I prefer Mateta for the fact he's on penalties. Gordon is the penalty taker at Newcastle when they're both on the pitch. So yeah. And I prefer him for open play. Mateta's just a better pick, I think. In terms of Newcastle, just note the wide men are getting rotated. Remember Murphy exists. Remember Harvey Barnes exists. And because of this, even though Elanga and Gordon might be first choice more often than not, what are we going to see? 70-minute subs. Elanga came off at half-time. Gordon at 70. We saw Gordon come off at 70 the game week 7. Don't love that. You're spending a lot of money on Gordon. You're not getting 90 minutes. Harlem Mateta in a 3-5-2 absolutely works. Yeah, it does. All right, let's move on to Man City Everton. They're always going to win this game, I felt. Everton put up a really good fight. They didn't create much, but the chances they created were big. And it's worth noting, Man City will concede a couple of big chances, but fair play yesterday, they kept the clean sheet. And players like Donnarumma are good. Gvardiol was left out. Interesting. I think his centre-back partnership, he went with Ake, which is rare. I'm guessing Ake didn't play for Netherlands in the international break. I don't know. Didn't start, maybe. It's always Diaz +1, but you'd expect Gvardiol. I mean, Stones is back fit, but not getting a look in. And Nunes played right back. We haven't seen a huge amount of that this season, but he's playing well. And then the wide men, he's gone Semenyo. Again, that can change week to week. It'll be Bob one week, it'll be Semenyo the next. I wouldn't even be surprised to see Foden play on the right once or twice, because Marmoush is going to be back fit soon. Again, Marmoush can play on the left, but then does he drop Doku? The way Doku's playing, I'm not so sure. Reinders subbed early, 59-minute sub, wasn't it? I think he got the 1-pointer. Didn't get the clean sheet or the second appearance because Reinders subbed at 59. We might see that going into Champions League games. At the moment, Bernardo Silva's not first choice. We see Bernardo on the right-hand side sometimes, but this season, we've not seen Bernardo starting games in the middle of the park, and that's because Tijjani Reinders exists. Reinders or Bernardo plays in that role. Bernardo can get in the 11 by playing on the right-hand side, but he can't get in the 11 unless he's playing the Reinders role, because he's always one defensive midfielder, Rodri if fit, if not Nico. Then it's your number 8-10 hybrid, which is your Bernardo or your Tijjani. And then it's your playmaker, i.e. Foden, or Marmoush if he's fit. Do note that, guys. I still think Reinders is a very good pick in his price point. I really do. And yesterday, Reinders put it on a plate for Doku. In fact, if we go to this, one of these big chances around, I think it was about half an hour in, just before half time, was Reinders putting it on a plate for Doku, and Doku fired straight at the keeper. Reinders very nearly had an assist yesterday. I don't think the early subs are going to be a real problem. Look at Reinders' minutes, guys. Reinders hasn't been getting the early subs. He had one yesterday. Like, he's been a 90-minute man quite often. I think you hold him. It's fine to bench him. Look at his price point. And Dye was Everton's best player by some distance. Okay, if you can get to Saka from Reinders, like Chris, fair. Yeah, best player by some distance. By the way, the wide men are getting rotated a lot at City now, and do expect that. Cherky came on yesterday as well. And Dye, 15 defensive contributions. We've seen Jack Grealish get it. We've seen Dye get it a couple of times. We've seen Grealish, I think, get it a couple of times. There is no coincidence that it's the Everton wide men that get it. This is clearly something Moyes drills into his players. But how is Dye picking up so much DEFCON? Let me just filter DEFCON on the FPL site by midfielders. He's clearly going to be like up there with like Caicedo and stuff, which is mad. Can I filter by DEFCON? I think I can. Yeah, I must be able to. Yeah, defensive contributions, midfielders. Okay, and Dye ranks first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. Okay, I think he's ninth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he's ninth. And Dye has more DEFCON than Bruno Fernandes. And Dye has more DEFCON than Szoboszlai, who's really good at it. By Idrissa Gana Gueye, by Paqueta. So the only players, midfielders with more DEFCON than Ndai, who is 80, is the Wolves lads, Andre and Gomez. They're on 82 and 88. Cullen, Garner, Adams, Xhaka, Anderson, Caicedo, they're all defensive midfielders. And Dye is the only attacking wide man on that list by some distance. Just think that's really interesting. He's also on pens. He's also an open play baller. He's also a low socks baller, along with Grealish and Dibbling and Dewsbury Hall, all low socks ballers. We love the low socks ballers at Everton. This is Moyes 2.0. He's going attacking. He's having fun. Everton are going to score goals. Everton investment now is fine. I know the fixtures might not be the prettiest. Let me just look at them. Everton fixtures. Spurs, they'll score against, I think. Sunderland, Fulham, Man United, Newcastle. Actually, the fixtures are fine. If you can get to Ndai, like, it's the standout pick at Everton. It really is. He really is. Just remembered I didn't do the Semenyo assist stuff. I'll come back to that. Where are we? Got so many screens. So yeah, fair play to those already on Ndai. I think points are coming. Remember, he's on pens. He did also score for Senegal. Him and Sarr for Senegal is such a good combo. I love that duo. So yeah, Haaland doing what Haaland does. Nico will get DEFCON, obviously playing in the Rodri role. City defenders won't get DEFCON. They often don't. Everton average position. A huge amount to write home about. Beto's still getting the starts over Barry, but not a pick for me yet. And Dye is the midfield pick if you can get there. Grealish couldn't play. Grealish is still going to be great, and he'll improve the 11. Dewsbury Hall in his price point's fine too. Dewsbury Hall won a lot of the set pieces, don't forget. Guys, let me do last couple of games, and then we're going to talk assists and how they were given yesterday for Semenyo. So stay tuned. Guys, thank you for the 900 of you are watching on a Saturday morning. Like, thank you so much for the support, guys. I would love you to hit the like button. I don't know how we're doing for likes, but it really helps the algorithm, helps my channel grow. But if you're new around here, come and say hi in the chat and hit that subscribe button. Thank you, guys. And comment if you're watching on catch up. Sorry, guys, this is my breakfast. I haven't eaten, so this is a meal in a bottle. Right. Let's move on. A couple of games to get to. Oh, the Saturday football was so good yesterday. I love it when there's so many Saturday games. And I love it when the big teams are on Saturdays, Champions League weeks. The scheduling, they can't, usually the Sunday games, the Super Sunday, Sky games, seem to always feature Man United, but whatever. They're not in Europe this year, so Man United will get even more Sunday games. But when Champions League teams at Arsenal and Man City are playing on a Tuesday night, they obviously have to be put on a Saturday. Thank you for subbing, Gucci, one of my channel members. Sunday morning, G. Is it Saturday in the UK? No, it's Sunday morning. We're here in the team of it. I'm not revealing it. I'm not revealing the name, but he's on the back wall. I can tell you that. It's Sunday morning, not Saturday. Sorry, did I say Saturday? Okay, soz. The Gary Neville Hewell. Is he an investor, is he? I need to research that. The reason I need to research is I'm going to have a promo code for you guys very soon on this. Not today, but for tomorrow's stream. Look out for it. A discount on Huel for watching my YouTube channel coming up. Tomorrow's stream. Tomorrow's early thoughts video. We get a line next Sunday. Yeah, exactly. Oh, the clock's falling back. Also, I don't know if I'll be streaming next Sunday because baby might be born. Paolo, not saying. Right, games. Where are we? Hang on a minute. I've got so many screens. We've not done a couple of games. Weird. Guys, my channel members, if you want more content, by the way, click the join button below. You can be a channel member in the WhatsApp group like Gucci or FPL Mackham. They're in the WhatsApp group. Maliki and Kieran all in the WhatsApp group. That Ultras members. If you want to be an Ultra or a squad, click the join button below. Would you buy Mukiele? Yes. Actually, I'm going to say no, and I'll give you reasons in a minute. Yeah. Extra content. I'm doing like daily videos pretty much for members only at the moment. Have we done Chelsea Forest? No, we'll do Sunderland next, all right? Chelsea Forest, we're going to be quick. Mark's in the chat. He was probably at the game. He's a season ticket holder, travelling up from the south coast as he does. I'm guessing you're pleased to see Ange gone. You would have had some hope that Ange was going to bring the attractive style and win football matches because he creates good XG maybe, but yeah, the XG was disappointing. Other than the Real Betis game where he was really good, I thought, away from home, the XG was high. Yesterday it was high, but yeah, Chelsea do love a red. Let me know your thoughts, Mark, with management. And is Mancini actually going to go? Is there a chance Mancini gets it? Or is it just going to be Dyche? Or is it going to be Marinakis himself? Yeah, level game, to be fair, but Chelsea just clinical finishing at the end. Some good goals by Chelsea. 17 shots to 12. Yeah, let's be brief. Do you know why I'm going to be brief, though? Because I think we know the Chelsea assets we want for FPL. I don't think much has changed. And I think we're all still swerving Forest. But if someone like Dyche comes in, Murillo, Milenkovic, maybe. Yeah, we can definitely do an Ultras name reveal stream. Good shout. I like that, Paul. Yeah, Chelsea haven't been brilliant defensively underlyings. But they've kept a couple of clean sheets. Cucurella's the pick. Did well for DEFCON yesterday, Cucurella, and he's not usually a DEFCON guy. Pedro Neto's the best wide forward at Chelsea. Has been since the Club World Cup. He was amazing. He was Chelsea's best player in the Club World Cup, I thought. And you've got Esteval, you've got Garnacho, you've got Gittins. But whether he's playing left or right, It's always Pedro Neto +1. It's made Pedro Neto a pick, right? In my draft league that I have with the Ultras, you guys will know we were chatting in it in the WhatsApp group. I said my number one draft pick for this week was Pedro Neto. And I did. I brought him in. He was a free agent. And I went for it. He was my number one pick. Because I just look at Pedro Neto and I go, at least now, I know I'm getting minutes. I don't get minutes from Pedro Neto ordinarily, like in years gone by, and his injuries. But yeah, glad I'm the hate camp for Pedro. Great player. João Pedro, yeah. Okay. João Pedro, I still am happy to hold. I thought he was bright yesterday. I thought he had some very neat and tidy touches. He moved to number 10 when, look, the Chelsea, this is the headline from Chelsea. The game changed at halftime. The game changed at halftime because Caicedo came on, but also he moved João Pedro to 10. He put a number 9 on in Mark Guiu. And I think Maresca has seen enough to go, the 9 isn't working for João Pedro. The 9 only works for João Pedro when Cole Palmer's on the pitch, because every number 9, I could play number 9 and Cole Palmer would create me chances. Like, that's what happens when you've got a Cole Palmer behind you. But if you haven't got a Cole Palmer behind you and you've got Andre Santos behind you, and Gusto, a right back playing number 10, like he played Gusto and Santos as dual number 8 10s. That's usually Enzo and Palmer, right? Of course, you're going to be starved. João Pedro had to do a lot himself. But I think João Pedro will get a lot of game time now as a 10. And if he does, he's a good hold, guys. The Chelsea fixtures are insane. Sunderland, Tottenham, Wolves, Burnley up next. And then it's Arsenal, Leeds. Like, I keep the faith with him. Really, really keep the faith with João Pedro. I honestly believe that. So look, that's Chelsea. Garnacho will be out soon of the 11, if at all. I can't see him getting back in the 11. Dreadful game yesterday. Dreadful half of football for him. And I think we might even see Pedro Neto playing on the left and Esteval coming in on the right. I think that'll be the first choice too. Esteval, of course, scoring for Brazil. In terms of the underlying points and the extras, defensive con, Cucurella got 11, so he did get it. Anderson continues to get it for Forest, 12. Reece James with the bonus because of the goal involvement. I don't think you can pick Reece James in FPL yet, though, guys. Just because of the Champions League, he's going to miss Premier League. He's going to miss too many Premier League games, I think. And Gusto can come in and play right back, of course. Forest, we're not going to analyse them purely because different manager means different setup. He went with a 5 yesterday. I just want to add, Zinchenko's an absolute baller. And under the right manager, not Sean Dyche, Zinchenko could become a really interesting option depending on where he plays. Remember, by trade, Zinchenko's a number 8-10. Uninteresting. Yeah, we're going to move forward. I just want to note the Zinchenko thing, because this is a footballer I've really rate. And when he plays for Ukraine, he's not a left back. When he played for Arsenal, he was moved to left back. If Zinchenko, depending on the manager, becomes this 8-10 hybrid, which I can't quite see because you've got Gibbs White there, you've got McAtee in the squad. Maybe he's only going to be a left back, but I don't know. Obviously, if he's a left wing back, he's great. Is Guiu an FPL option? I mean, look, as an 8th attacker, sure, he's going to get some mins. Yeah, Gucci 490, but is that Premier League only? I mean, it won't be 490 in consecutive games, I doubt. Unless I'm wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised to see he won't play Champions League this week and Premier League next. He'll miss one of them for sure. Obviously, you've had an international break where he was injured, so he had time off. Forest absolutely batters. They did. I was listening on TalkSport. I was driving yesterday, and the first half it was all Forest. To be fair, I thought Troy Deeney did quite a good job on Co-Com. I was going to say. All right, Burnley Leeds. I jammed this one with Dubravka. I got lucky. I think I got lucky, didn't I? Yeah, I got lucky. Leeds should have scored. But I knew the bad finishers. Calvert-Lewin's a bad finisher. A lot of shots straight at Dubravka. Dubravka some great saves, to be fair. But I jammed Dubravka points in game week 2, where they played newly promoted Sunderland at Turf Moor. Yesterday, they played newly promoted Leeds at Turf Moor. At Turf Moor against the new promoted teams, unfortunately, we're not going to get those fixtures again. They've been and gone. I felt like Scott Parker, it's a championship game. And what did he do in the championship? Really well. He had tight football matches at home against other good teams. And I've just fancied them. And that's why I went to Dubravka over Pope. And that's why I went to Dubravka in game week 2 and Estev game week 2. So I've had good clean sheet points from Burnley. And I'm buzzing with that. Leeds should have scored, and I was probably very lucky, but Dubravka was inspired. He made some very good saves. The one he tipped onto the post was good as well. But Leeds are creating XG. They're just not putting it away. We saw this against Spurs. Against Spurs, where they lost, Leeds created 2 XG. Mad. They should have beaten Spurs and they lost 2-1. Was it 2-1? I think it was. So look, Burnley with 4 shots and 2 goals. And we are seeing this from Scott Parker's Burnley. Like, they are finding a way of creating one big chance a game and scoring it. But Burnley do both things. I think they're down. I think they're down, aren't they? I think we all think they're down, even after that yesterday. In terms of the average position map, just look at the difference between Leeds, all quite high up the pitch. Even the Leeds defenders are on the halfway line versus Burnley, all parked in their own half. Which team looks like let's assume 2 championship clubs coming up to the Premier League, they're going to be pretty level, you would think, in terms of footballing ability and like possession and stuff. Coming into the Premier League, you think there'd be like similar match. Leeds look a much better footballing team than Burnley. Look at that. Clear identity, high up the pitch, consistent passing lines. Burnley disjointed, all deep, parking the bus. But that's what Scott Parker does. Florentino is the heartbeat. He will continue to get DEFCON. Of course he will. I don't think we're looking... Yeah, the shot map's absolutely horrendous. It really is for Burnley. Like, against a newly promoted team at home, you've got to do better than that. 3 shots from 35 yards and 1 in the area. But they won the football match, and that is all that matters. They got the 3 points, and they kept a clean sheet. So fair play to Burnley, but we're not looking at their assets. I don't think we're looking at Leeds' assets. Many will say Rodon. Everyone on Wildcard last week went Rodon. I understand the theory behind it, but I'm just going to say don't do it. If you want a 4 million defender, this is the team to invest in. Sunderland. Sunderland Wolves was pretty level in terms of XG. Sunderland edged it, and again, at home, they're going to be good. We've just hit the 1,000 mark. Guys, thank you so... I don't think we've done 1,000 at this time of morning. We've done it a few times on a Sunday morning, but I don't think at 9:22. So thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button if you're new around here. And if you want to come and say hi in the chat, hit the subscribe button and tell us where in the world you're watching from. We'll flash up some countries. Global presence this morning, I expect. Thank you as always, guys. I will give away 5 channel memberships today, seeing as we hit 1,000. So to win a membership, all you got to do is like, subscribe, and you can win a membership. And it goes to 5 subscribers randomly. I'll do it in the next 5 minutes. All right. So Sunderland Wolves, all of the Wolves chances, low XG. 16 shots, not a single big chance. Look at all those little bubbles. It's bad. It's really bad. Wolves are really in trouble. I thought they might cause Sunderland problems. I still started Mukiele. They didn't cause them any problems whatsoever. And they played so well a couple of weeks ago, I think, again against Spurs. So, look, I'm just going to say with Sunderland, their underlying defensive data in terms of conceding big chances, they rank like 4th or 5th. They don't concede big chances. They're a newly promoted team that don't concede big chances. And they've got 2 really good 4 million options. Now, let me talk you through those 4 million options. Alderete is only going to play centre-back, and he is the target at set pieces. Ballard, if he's on the pitch, is also the target at set pieces, right? Mukiele has been one of Sunderland's players so far this season. He's a centre-back by trade, but up to his move to Sunderland when he was playing in France, he had equal minutes playing at full-back. Mukiele is very confident playing as a right-back. And yesterday, because of injuries, Mukiele came in and played right-back. When he plays right-back, you do not expect Mukiele to get DEFCON, and you would say Alderete is the better pick. There's 0.1 in it, so forget price. Alderete, the target at set pieces, guaranteed to play centre-back, versus Mukiele, better at DEFCON when he does play centre-back, and takes the long throws where he will get some assists. 1 or 2 maybe over the season. It's a coin toss. I would still say Mukiele because I think he does get a lot of game time still at right back. And when he plays fullback, as we saw yesterday, he can in open play become a goal threat or an assist threat. Good advanced position. He's actually quite in field, as this average position map shows. Now look at Mukiele for DEFCON. Yesterday, as the right back, 12 versus Alderete's 9. And this is consistent. When they're playing centre-back together, Mukiele always outperforms Alderete, who's still very good, but Mukiele is better. So I'm going to say, save the 0.1 and probably go Mukiele, but I don't think you can go wrong going Alderete. It's also worth noting, I mentioned this earlier, but many of you have just joined, the long throws. Now, the long throws are important. Where's my long throw graphic? Hang on, bear with me, guys. I want to show you this because I think it's a really good image to show. Where have I put it? Here we go. The long throws. Look at Ballard winning the ball here with his head from 8 yards out, 10 yards, 10 yards, 8 yards out. That's the longest throw in the Premier League. That throw is going to get assists. Most long throws won't get assists because the chance comes off the second contact. It's a flick on and then it's a shot. With Mukiele, you're going to get FPL Mackham reckons that we've seen 3 times already this season. FPL Mackham, our resident Sunderland fan in the chat, he said earlier he can remember at least 3 times where we've seen Mukiele straight onto the head onto an attempt on target. And that is why Mukiele will have some assist threat, and surely he's going to get an assist. Regardless, he gets the goal, he gets the bonus, he's great at the underlying, he gets the DEFCON. He's a brilliant option, and Sunderland get the clean sheets. So 17 points from Mukiele. I'm absolutely buzzing with that. And look, we'll talk about my team, but I also want to talk about the assists. So just to touch very quickly on my team, I'm going to go to it now because Mukiele is in vision and I got the 17 points there. I'm rubbish at predicting benchings. I feel like all the 50-50 bench calls I make, I always get wrong. I'm terrible at it. But yesterday, I had a good day. I won out on my 50-50s. I went Dubravka over Pope. To be fair, I'd said all week I was going to do that, but it was still a 50-50 call, right? I went Mukiele over Senesi. Pretty set on Mukiele most of the week. I tell you, I wasn't set on Richards. And I went Richards over Kilman. I also went Reinders over Minter. Minter outperformed him by a point, whatever. And let's see, maybe Kilman keeps a clean sheet. As things stand, I'm not going to talk about my team and the players in it and where I'm moving towards. I'll save that for my early thoughts video, which will be out first thing tomorrow morning. So stay tuned for that, guys. But I do want to talk about the assist yesterday because we got Mark in the chat. And it's awesome having Mark, who obviously Mark is the guy behind the game, right? If you're not familiar, Mark Sutherns, he founded Fantasy Football Scout, but he works at the Premier League. And he is responsible. He came into a job at the Premier League only 6 months ago. And he came in and changed quite a lot about the game. The introduction of DEFCON, the assist rule. And I just want to mention, and some of the new rules, which we absolutely love. This game is getting bigger and better. And I think Mark's going to be responsible for a lot of its growth. But I just want to mention, yeah, hi, Mark, says Pete. And look, so many of us miss Mark from not doing content, but obviously during his role now, he can't be on Black Box. He can't be doing FPL content. So just want to mention, like, Mark and I spoke this morning with the assist from Semenyo. These are his 2 assists. Some might think were 2 assists. The first one, it comes off his back. And because it comes off his back, an assist isn't given. And I think that's fair. So I just want to paraphrase. So it's not Semenyo's touch is just, it's not a shot or an attempt on goal, but it's not even a pass attempt because it's just I'm chucking my body at it. Because it came off his back and then touched the defender before the goal was scored, no. If the touch has been deemed a shot attempt, it would have been an assist, but it wasn't deemed a shot attempt. I think that's the really key bit of advice here. So the first one wasn't an assist, and that's just the rule, guys. Again, I've put the touches quote there. The second one, Semenyo puts a really good cross into the box. It's cleared by Mark Gahey. You can see the ball travelling to Gahey there, and then it's hit in by Krupa Jr. That assist is given. And again, absolutely, I miss Mark's walk in the woods as well. Just want to make that clear. I've probably butchered that, guys, as I'm being distracted. But yeah, I want that just to be clear. So look, we said we'd give away some memberships. I feel like we should do that. If you're watching on catch up, you unfortunately can't win one, but you can still, if you want my extra content, you can join. The join button is there on screen, link in the description. But guys, all you got to do, I'm going to give it away in the next minute. Like, subscribe, and comment. And 5 of you, spam the chat. You have to spam the chat. It goes to 5 people in the chat. So get spamming. You've got 30 seconds. Like, subscribe, and spam. That's all you got to do. And 5 of you will win a membership in the next 20 seconds. Going to do it really quick. Get spamming. Get spamming. How do I do it? Oh, Johnny, sort it out. Sort it out, Johnny. Come on. Keep spamming. Thank you for all the spam, guys. I don't choose who this goes to. It goes to 5 people randomly. Like, subscribe, spam, 5 of you can win. Ta-da! Good stuff. Congratulations if you won. Andrew won. John won. Oh, one of our regulars, John. Oh, Andrew Bart, another one of our regulars, S Fury. Good to see regulars winning. Guys, thank you for watching. If you're just tuning in, go back and watch the last hour. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I will hopefully be back next Sunday with a debrief, depending on when baby is born. If I'm not, then I'll see you the Sunday after. But I will see you in 24 hours time for my early thoughts video. Is Mateta coming into my team? You're about to find out. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.